What is going on, guys? My name is AK, back again with another YouTube video. Now in today's video I'm giving you my top 5 tips to increase your reaction speed that can help you snap onto people in game like the pros do. Now I think you're going to find this video very helpful, but first I do just want to say a massive thank you for the support on yesterday's video. We got like 2,000 views in under 24 hours, which for a channel of my size is absolutely amazing, and all the comments and the likes, I can't thank you enough, so thanks a lot for that. But with that said and done, let's jump straight into it. So my first point is making sure that you're playing on the highest frame rate and on the highest refresh rate monitor that you physically can. So for people on old gen consoles like PS4, Xbox One, you're capped at about 60, maybe 30 for some of the older generations of those consoles. For new gen, you're capped at about 120 FPS, and then for PC, pretty much as high as you can push your PC. But for those of you that are playing on lower end gaming PCs, there are still things that you can do. First thing I'd do is go through your graphic settings, make sure that you've got everything set to low that is sort of unnecessary in a competitive environment. Things like shadow quality and all things like that, and ray tracing if any of your cards support that. They're just going to be limiting your FPS without actually giving you any good in-game performance. My general rule of thumb is you want to prioritize performance over quality. For the most part, of course, you don't want to be playing on it really blurry and not being able to see anyone. That's obviously not very helpful. But generally, you're going to try and get as many FPS as possible, and sort of the fancy details, just sort of let them go in favor of better performance. But the reason I put this first is if you're on consoles, there's not really much that you can do about this. So yeah, on to the next point. So point number 2 involves this thing here. Well, maybe not this in particular, but just as a rule of thumb, caffeine. Now, caffeine actually reduces your reaction speed, so if you need to have that fast reaction speed for, say you've got like a big tournament coming up, something that you really want to play well in, be sure to have some caffeine drink, if whether that's coffee or sort of like a caffeine energy drink like this, X Gamer, G Fuel, something like that. That could actually help you quite a bit. Now, what I would say is certainly I wouldn't have too much, not just from a health point of view, but also because you don't want to build up tolerance against caffeine. You know, these people that wake up in the morning and they have to have a cup of coffee because if they don't, they can't function. You don't want to get like that in game. You don't want to have the caffeine to play well. You want to have it sort of in moderation so that when you do have it, you play even better. So personally for me, I'll only ever have it on the mornings before 2K tournaments, or if for whatever reason I'm having to stay up late, and then of course it helps keep you awake. But yeah, really only have it when you need it for the big matches, and just as a general rule of thumb, play without it until you especially need it. Point number 3, this is a very big one. This is warming up. So before you go into games, say you first get on, maybe your hands are cold, feeling really stiff, your reactions are going to be really slow. Even if maybe you're mentally fast enough to make the decisions, your hands certainly aren't going to be keeping up. So the first thing you want to do when you jump on is warm up. I'll quickly run you through what I do here. So I'll hop straight into custom games, as you can see here, and I have a set game mode known as bots, and this is essentially a free-for-all, 30-minute timer, 500 kills thing, and then I adjusted some of the pre-match timers just to sort of speed it up a little bit, and I put the mini-map on constant. Then just add a whole load of bots in. I think 6 or 7 is the max that you can actually put in, and then you just play that. Just shoot bots for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, and it just sort of warms your hands up. I know a lot of people say they'd rather play pubs or league play, but personally I think this is the best way just to get into the most gunfights as possible that you're going to win, because obviously in league play you're gonna die, you need to factor in the respawns and all that. But this is just a good way to warm up, get your hands sort of moving nice and fast, and then yeah, then you can go into playing your games and you'll know that your reactions are on point. Now, I would also say if you go off for an hour or two, when you come back, you want to do this again, because quite quickly you actually lose your sort of your warm hands essentially. So yeah, if you go for a little bit, come back, shoot, maybe shoot a few less, maybe only shoot 100 or 50 or whatever, but you just want to get that the movement back in your hands. So my 4th point for increasing your reaction speed is actually centering. If you don't know what this is, I'll quickly explain this. But centering is using your sort of pre-aiming, I guess, and using your crosshairs to predict where you think the enemy are going to be. Now this is really important because being able to center well actually will increase your chances of winning a gunfight, because your crosshairs are already placed where the enemy are actually going to push from, as opposed to somewhere far away, and then you have to then sort of rotate and try and snap onto them, which could mean that you miss a couple of bullets, or even just miss a bit of time actually having to sort of do that spinning movement. So yeah, centering is very important. So I guess I'll just show an example. So bad centering would be sort of running around the corner here and then turning. That sort of the extra time you get here, they could already be shooting you in the time it takes you to turn and then shoot them. Good centering would then instead be coming around the corner and already be aiming that way, already be pre-aiming, expecting someone to be there. So this actually does require quite a bit of game knowledge in terms of spawns and where people are going to be, and also communication with the teammates. If someone calls something out, you'll center where you expect them to push, So it's all just things like that that are actually going to help you get better at this, but it's definitely something that if you work on, you're going to win a lot more gunfights because of it. And also because you're not having to spin and sort of factor in more time for actually winning gunfights, you're going to be winning gunfights quicker. So while it's not directly increasing your reaction speed, effectively it's doing what reaction speed wants you to do, and that's get kills faster. Now, my fifth and final point for increasing reaction speed is actually expecting people to push things. So say I'm sat here head glitching, watching the Zig, waiting for someone to push. If I'm sort of sat back and just sort of relaxing, if you will, like thinking, oh, if he pushes, I'll probably get the kill, that kind of thing, then the moment someone comes around that corner, say they slide cancel it, they're sort of expecting a gunfight, you're probably going to get beamed off because they're a lot quicker than you. It's going to take you a second to think, hang on a minute, there's a guy there, and then actually start shooting. Whereas if you're sitting there actively focusing, thinking, okay, a guy's going to push, and then just sort of constantly, like maybe just like wiggling around, I find for me personally helps just sort of keep focused a little bit. But if you're expecting someone to push, if you're anticipating that any moment a guy could push, you're actually going to be sort of in a mindset to the moment they do it, actually start shooting, as opposed to think, oh wait, there's a guy there, and then start shooting them with maybe a couple milliseconds delay. Now, again, that sounds like nothing, but that is actually really helpful in game, sort of anticipating the push, expecting people to actually push things, yeah, and that just sort of helps your reaction speed even more. So they're my top 5 tips for increasing reaction speed within Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. If there's any tips that you guys want to suggest, drop them down in the comment section below. I'm sure people will find that very helpful. With that said and done, thanks a lot for watching, thanks for all the support on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.